Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, this shit not working. Oh, we good? We good? Hey, y'all in the YouTube chat. Let me know if everything is all good. Volume, stuff like that. Things are looking a little different for some reason. I don't know if you guys can see like this like fucking neon green border thing around the screen, but I can't tell what the hell it is. But yeah, apologies for the late start. I was my damn computer was off, man. It took forever to turn on. It like wasn't turning on. Oh shit. But it's all good. We here. This microphone's so sensitive. It's like, damn, that's crazy. It's picking up the damn. Sounds like I'm outside with the wind blowing, picking up my fan. Oh man. Alright, let's see. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Jeanette. Good morning, Marjan. Thank you, Marjan. We're definitely going to have a nice day of profits. Just give me 1 second, get everything set up here. Doesn't look like, I took a quick glance at the charts before we got rocking and rolling, and doesn't look like there was anything we could have caught there, but damn, man, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 trade win streak. And we're 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10 and 1 on the year. And let's see if we can take it another damn day. How about that? How about that? How was that? And while we're getting set up, you know, pay the fee, do a little solid, you know, give a like on the stream. As I always say, you know, the only way that we can grow on the streams here is by engaging. It's the only way that we're gonna reach more people. The more engagement we get on the streams, the more people that we're gonna get in front of. And the more people that are going to find the streams, the more people that can win with us, the more people that can learn with us, the more people that can stop being scammed by other fake ass Forex guru people. You know, we're just trying to protect the Forex community vibes out here. I was one of those guys, man. I got fucking passed around over and over and over again, all these different Forex programs. I bought all these different things, and man, for a long time I saw no results. I had no idea what anybody was doing, and then finally it all clicked. What's good, Jake? Good morning.
What? Morning, bro. How's it going?
Good, man. Good. How's everything going with you?
Yeah, not bad. Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Still, not so great from a trading perspective, but it's all good. It's all good. Took
Well,
another couple of L's today. Just I had the right bias on gold, but just the wrong execution, which is frustrating. So GJ just got it wrong, but yeah, it's what it is. We'll review it and go again.
what were you looking at?
So gold, that's pound yen. So I was looking.
I saw Raja took buys like down here or something like that, right?
Yeah. So I looked for sells. See where that. See where that. So where Raja took buys. So just to the right of that, there's a bearish candle. To your right.
Further?
Oh no, maybe your left then. Sorry. Maybe it's because
Oh
it's
yeah,
inverted.
yeah, shit. No, I'm a little retarded this morning. To the right.
No, no. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Up here?
Yeah, yeah. So see where it rejected.
Oh,
See, there's like a potential resistance onto the left, which was a previous support.
yeah.
We had a bearish close, and I thought, maybe we'll retest that low, given we're in a downtrend, and it just carried on going up. So yeah, it's difficult trade. I actually took it off the 15 minute because we had a 15 minute close underneath support slash resistance or previous support, sorry, and new resistance. And yeah, what do you think about that? Can you see anywhere where I went wrong there potentially? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, well, with just looking at the 30-minute, and I'll flip to the 15-minute in a second, but just looking at the 30-minute, it never broke the lows, so that would have
yeah,
kept you out of the trade. And this is honestly why I prefer the 30-minute versus the 15-minute, because I've been screwed a lot of times like this, where like, it like the entry looked good based off of the 15-minute, but the 15-minute, even though it is like a confirmation, it's just a lower time frame confirmation, so you have to be a little bit more cautious. So yeah, that's probably what I would say is maybe in the future, if you're gonna execute off of the 15-minute, maybe use a dynamic risk. Go half off of the 15-minute, and then if it were to break the 30-minute low, then you put the other half in, and then that way, if it doesn't end up playing out based off of the higher time frame confirmations, then you only lost half your risk.
yeah, yeah, makes
That's
sense.
probably
Thanks, man. That's really good.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have done. But looking here,
Yeah,
let me see what time
so
it was. Let's see right here. What was this? So this was like 4 a.m., 3:30 a.m. my time. I'm guessing it's probably around 3:30 a.m. or oh yeah, I see.
yeah, so basically
Yeah.
half an hour, 15 minutes after London Open, I took that trade, and the idea was on the 15 minute, you can see a bit further back that it's almost like a fake out in some ways. It sort of came
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
closed back in yeah, and then I took it as it broke the low on the 15 minute.
Mhm.
So it did go into sort of very, very small profits, but then um, you can see where it just sort of then shot back up. But I think you're right. If I had went on the 30 minute, it would have been better confirmation.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I think overall, like it was the right idea. I mean, we're in a daily bearish candle currently. I mean, it's rejecting now, and it looks like it's probably gonna flip. But at that point, the daily candle was pretty strong, um, and yeah, I mean, with this strong 30-minute rejection, I definitely can see why the anticipation could have been there based off of the 15-minute. But honestly, bro, that's exactly why I deleted the 15-minute off my charts, because it was like giving me like those like little confirmations where I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna execute. Hopefully, I can catch the early entry, and then it won't. Then like it wouldn't happen. Like it would do the same thing. And like
Yeah,
if you also think about this too, this could potentially be looked at as like a break and retest to continue bullish. So I think that's probably like what like that's like what ended up playing out on the the 30-minute here was more so like that break and retest situation here. Let me grab my annotation here. Because if you look at it, you know, like we made this move down, we pulled, oh shit, let me change the color so it's easier to see. We made this move down, and then we pushed up, and then this was kind of like the MP special situation to go retest this support and then continue bearish. But it failed to do that, and then that's when obviously Raja took those buys. So if you think about that, like that's almost like a change in market direction, you know, like if you look at like how the candles are structured, you know, we were creating lower highs and lower lows all the way down, and then it kind of changed directions, and then
Yeah, high lows.
yeah, then it like flipped, and then we started creating higher lows and higher highs, and then it never broke the lows on the 30-minute. So for me, honestly, that's why I just prefer the 30 minutes. Just it simplifies it a little bit more. It's a little bit more of a stronger confirmation in my opinion. But I don't think it was anything wrong. I think that's probably just like the one thing you could put in your back pocket for next time is if I'm gonna execute off of the 15-minute, you know, maybe I should just use dynamic risk until the confirmations play out on 30-minute as well, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
And then my gold trade was just an impulse that didn't go turn out, but it was just the right bias. It was kind of within, where was it? So yeah, kind of. So my time it was about 6 a.m. So 2 hours before London Open. I'm not sure when that is for you.
So probably
Yeah.
like midnight my time. This.
So the 30-minute. Yeah. So
Probably like
two.
here. Oh wait, 2 hours before.
Yeah, that one. That candle there on the right.
This one?
Yeah. So I took it
Yeah.
as we broke the high on to the left on that wick as an impulse, just expecting a breakout. But on
Yeah.
the 15-minute, I think I took it. You know what, bro? I think it's the 15-minute, because on the 15-minute it had a small. We had a bullish and then another bullish candle, whereas on the 30-minute you can see it's obviously bearish. So I took it on that one there, expecting it to break out as it broke the high on the left.
Yeah.
The volume. And yeah, just came back into the range. But you can see not long after, Harif actually took a nice buy after that wick rejection to the there. So he took it there and rode it all the way up. I probably wouldn't have taken it there just because it was still within range for me. But really nice buy though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I would say that yeah, I mean it's just like probability at that point, you know. Because this is kind of similar to like the buy that I took yesterday off of off of the 30-minute, but it was kind of, oh yeah, it was over here. It was like an impulse situation. You know, I took it on this candle. It broke the lows right here, and then when it went to go break the highs, you know, obviously it continued to push, but it was kind of the same situation. It was an impulse trade. Like typically, you know me, I would wait for this candle to close, you know. But I didn't, you know. As soon as when I saw it broke the lows, like I was expecting it to continue bearish and come down and retest this level here. But when it didn't do that and started reject it and go and break the highs, I was like, all right, cool, there should be enough volume in the market. Like there's volatility here, so it should give me a 10 pip push. But so yeah, I mean it's just kind of situational, you know. Because like this same thing that happened to you could have happened to me on this trade, you know.
Yeah, I suppose the only thing for me was that the previous candle was bearish on a 30-minute, which is probably maybe a confluence against. But it was a small bearish with a rejection wick at the bottom in some respects, but
so
it would have been nicer if that was bullish.
You executed on this candle right here?
Yeah, but on the 15-minute it was two bullish candles, and then I think, but on the 30-minute, as it rejected so much, it is now bearish on the 30-minute. But
yeah,
on the 15-minute, it was made a bit more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and then another thing to think about is the only reason I took this impulse trade right here was because we broke the lows first, and then we rejected and went to go break the highs. So to me,
Yes. Yeah.
that told me that there was enough volatility in the market to give that push outside of the range, just like it did, you know. So that might be something to consider in the future, is if you're gonna take impulse trades inside of like a range, you know, maybe only do it when you can have that like confirmation that there's going to be enough volatility in the market, there's going to be enough volume in the market to give me that push out. And for me, that confirmation that there was going to be enough volume or volatility was simply the fact that we broke the lows first and then we went to go break the highs. So I was like, all right, cool, you know, we're seeing some movement here, you know what I mean?
Yeah. One other question I had was, so you see where it did break out of that range on that candle.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that was too high to take an entry at the break of the high on the left, on the right. So yeah. So it's
Yeah.
about 20 pips on the range, and I thought, I remember sending charts into Raja before, and he said it's probably too far gone. You know, at that point, probably could have gotten on a retest maybe, because you can see the next candle then did come down to retest almost perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But I was waiting for maybe a bearish candle followed by a bullish, so I wanted some additional confirmation rather than taking it on the same candle at the break of the high, although it would have worked. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so were you saying execute here at the break of this high?
No, the next candle, so the
Okay, yeah,
next this
here.
one here, yeah. If you can
Yeah,
see where, because it came soft. If you measure it from the resistance from the previous range,
yeah,
so it's kind of like 20, 30 pips away.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're probably like, that's kind of how I feel too. I mean, when you see like big candles like this, I mean, you kind of have to sit on your hands and wait for another confirmation, because you know that kind of was like the move, you know, even though it did have like another push, you know, like if you were to have executed on that candle, you know, I think like if you were to execute it here at the break of the high, you know, my stop loss would have been below the previous, so that would have been like 48 pips. That would have been a little risky. There is tons of room over here to move though, so who knows, you know. But
Yeah, to me, it's just not a high quality trade.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like you can see how it would play out and why it did play out, but at the same time, it is exactly right. Like personally, I probably would have done what you did. I would have been like, you know, that's a big candle. My stop loss is going to be pretty huge. I'd probably rather wait and see if there's going to be a bearish one and then like a slingshot setup to continue. And then if that doesn't play out, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, and that's what happened. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like my bias was right on gold. I was looking for buys based on daily, thinking actually maybe we've created support here, and we'll start to move up a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of holding strong here. I mean, I mean it's bullish, but at the same time, you know, it looks like it could flip. It's rejecting pretty hard.
True.
So we'll have to see.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, what's up, Maurice?
I'm good. So I did an analysis on gold right now, and I kind of sent it to your Telegram. Could you have a look at it?
Yeah. Let me just get my analysis set up here, just because
Yeah,
we're
of
moving through
timings.
the
Yeah,
session and want to make sure
yeah.
I'm prepared to execute. But yeah, don't let me forget. I'm gonna do this analysis real quick on my side, and then I'll check it out.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
So yeah, I mean, with the current daily candle here on gold, the way I'm looking at it, I would definitely want it to come at least below 1903.97 before I consider sells. But it does seem like it is kind of doing that. You know, we did have like this push up. We created like a session high, and then you know, to me it looks like we failed to continue to try and go retest that, and we might be coming back down. But yeah, I'd probably rather wait and see if it can come down below here. And with that area being that it's like just in the middle of clean candles, you know, probably want to wait and have it come down even further to like this zone, because this is going to be, yeah, 42 pips, so that's plenty of range. So yeah, I'll just move this down here. Actually, let me just see what this looks like. Yeah, there is some rejections right at this level, so it could potentially, you know, have some sort of traffic here to form like some sort of level that we could trade down here, but it's only about 19 pips, so that's not even worth it. Not to mention the daily candle is going to be kind of weak bearish at that point. It'll be kind of doji, so I think it would be better to have it look a little bit stronger, give us a little better confirmation that it definitely is going to continue down. So we'll just set this up as the sell bias, and then overall bias in my opinion is going to be bullish, I think, on gold, but we'll probably want to have it come up above this level right here, close above, and then we can come up and we can target this level right here. Let's just make sure that that's a big enough range. Definitely looks like it. Yo, yeah, that's a nice range. And I'm getting to the point where mentally I'm gonna start being a little bit more cautious, because I want to preserve my my win streak, like 7-day win streak right now. So I want to preserve that and like not get too crazy. Yesterday's trade was kind of like, when I took it, I was like immediately I was just like, that might have been, you know, kind of like an egotistical trade. You know, I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself because I didn't wait for my normal confirmations. But at the same time, Jake, like I was saying, I'm starting to realize that if we have those break the lows, then go break the highs for a bullish move, that's definitely like good signs for impulse entry to break out of a range. So I'm gonna keep that in mind for the next time I see that, because that's quite a few times I've seen that happen. And then Sartaj yesterday, he actually took a trade similar to that on GJ, where it did that to kind of break out of the range, and it worked out for him. So something I've seen frequently in the recent history.
I found impulse moves on GJ seem to be more successful for me rather than gold.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just on gold for some reason I don't think I've had one that's worked out, so I'm not sure maybe why I did that. I should have probably thought about it. On GJ it tends to work pretty well.
Yeah, and it could, if you think about it too, it could be because you're trading London session. You know, GJ is obviously gonna move a little bit more volatile during London session because you have a little bit more of a GBP influence, where once we come into pre-New York, New York Open, things like that, we're coming, like, you know, a lot of the big events that are gonna probably cause GBP pairs to move are probably gonna happen more of that London Open, and you know, coming through that London session. Whereas on gold, it's like the opposite. You know, it's very USD influenced, so you know, it's gonna have more volatility, more volume during NY session and versus London. You know what I mean? So it's probably why that you're experiencing that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, your gold analysis and mine is almost the same.
Perfect.
Now.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll check it out. Let me get this GJ here. Looks like we can have nice buys above, you know, to come up there. In situations like this though, you have to be like cautious about like this past level, you know, like 159.475. like obviously we had a lot of rejections here. We moved through there clean coming down, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we can move through there clean going up. But it's definitely a big enough range, so we'll have that set up as the buy bias if that does play out. And then for sells, and this is a strong candle here. Yeah, we'll want it to come down. Yeah, we'll want it to come down probably here and target down there. It's gonna be a nice range. Have some solid ranges to work with, so that's pretty good. Say price is moving halfway decent for us. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I'll look for here. Let's see. Yeah, see, I would really like buys if we can come up and close above this area, because you know, this is really proving that this area is a lot of rejections, a lot of traffic. If we look, you know, even if we look through here, you know, it's there's a lot of stuff happening here. And but at the same time, on the flip side here too, you know, so if we can come up in this area, continue up, I think that would be beautiful. All right, Maurice, let me find this message here. You said you you DM'd it to me, right? I think I saw it come through. I saw the notification.
On your Telegram.
Perfect. It's just gonna take a second to load up because I got a shit ton of apps open up here on my on my laptop. All right, let me see. Here we go. Let's see. Come on now. The hell it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yep, exactly the same. Yep. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah, man, you're you got it locked in, Maurice, and it's just kind of proven to me. I mean, this strategy really isn't rocket science. You know, it's a very simple strategy, as I've said over and over and over again. I'm a very simple guy. I got to keep things simple for me to understand how to execute and duplicate things. So yeah, Maurice, good work on that. But yeah, it looks like we're getting a nice little push here on gold. I think we could definitely come up. This honestly probably would have been a good impulse entry too, to anticipate it to continue. If this area wasn't here and it was just this area that we were dealing with, I might have executed on that, simply because we had a lot of rejections here. We had a nice, like, you know, a nice bottom wick here, and then we coming up to break the high. You know, that would be a good impulse entry. But since this zone is here, you know, I don't really like that. So I agree with how you had it set up, Maurice. Let's see, I'm gonna hit this YouTube chat real quick. Kaizen with Tyler, dude. Tyler, if you're still here, man, much love to you, bro. Good to see you on here. Let's catch up soon, man. Hit me up, and I'll actually hit you up too. I won't put it all in your hands, but I'll hit you up, man. Let's catch up. Forzan, did you only take trades once the 30-minute candles close? Yes and no. So I talked about this this impulse entry that I took here. Typically, I would wait for a candle to close in this situation, and I'll try and get a little annotation here just so you can kind of see what we were looking at. So I was looking at like kind of this zone yesterday, and so what happened, and you can obviously you know, check out yesterday's stream, and I did some really detailed breakdowns as far as why I took this. But you know, obviously the first main thing was we had this zone. You know, we have clean traffic over here to the left. If you look over there to the left on the candles, I can't scroll while I'm annotating it, or I'd show you, but there's clean candles over there to the left to have a nice move up. I think it was like maybe a 40 pip range or something like that. I can't remember. And so basically what I was looking at was this candle right here, you know, had rejected, and then I was anticipating when this candle broke the low right here, I was anticipating it to come down and retest this level, but I took the impulse entry and didn't wait for this candle to close because we broke that low, and it obviously failed to make that push, and then it came up and it broke the high right here. It broke this candle's high. This current candle right here broke it, and so that's why I took the impulse entry. So Forzan, to answer your question in short, I'm starting to get a little bit more confident with situations that I would take an impulse entry in and not wait for candle to close. But it's at this point in my trading journey, my trading career, that's the only conditions that I would take an impulse entry based around, is like breaking the highs and the lows type of thing, or maybe even something like this, like I was just kind of talking about. There's a lot of rejections to the downside right here, so it's to me this is screaming buys. specifically because we're in that bullish daily candle too. So the buys are obviously favored. So with the trend impulse entries, I'm starting to like develop some criteria around that. Joji, howdy from Perth, Australia, man. I'd love to make it down to Australia. That's on my bucket list. Tim Garland, 41 watching now. That's the highest I've seen you started. Yeah, man. The streams are starting to get some more traffic, and this is honestly just like a statement, a testament to consistent, persistent action. Anytime you persistent execute a certain thing, it's like just the laws of nature. It's gonna grow, you're gonna get better, things like that. So that's all it is. But yeah, it's good to see this growth here, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been cool to see the messages from you guys learning things, like Maurice, you know what I mean, he just hopped in here like this week, I think, and he's getting everything under control. He's sending me great analysis. I love to see people critically think and be able to develop biases and things like that on their own. So it's been fun. I'm excited to see what this is going to be like, as time goes. Help out this community here, but we getting some strong rejections here on GJ. Have to see what's going to happen. And I'm starting to disrupt the community a little bit. Had some guys talking shit to me on my DMs the other day on Twitter. I was freaking dying laughing, man. This freaking guy sent me a message. Of course, it's like some spam page, some troll page, but it said, it fucking said, instead of being cartoon character ripped, how about you get real life character ripped? Or real life ripped. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? But his like username was like FX King or something, so I was like, oh, okay, Forex community is starting to get a little irritated with me, but so that's why I had to change my avatars and my profile pictures, so the world knows that I am really ripped. But yeah, I think GJ probably come down and might give us these sell opportunities. Oh, gold's kind of rejecting. So just like I was saying, I mean, this just kind of proves like why this area can be a little dangerous here. So we definitely want to wait for that close above. All right. Resigned. No problem. Glad it made sense for you. If it makes sense, it's probably gonna make dollars. See what's on the telly. Check out Sports Center. Oh, okay. Let's see, Mohammed. Good afternoon, Mike. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I was about to say it's morning time for me, but yeah, good afternoon to you. I'm assuming it's afternoon. Forzan, yeah, definitely. Let's see, get a little Sports Center here. Check out what happened. Yeah, see, and this, I mean, this candle is pretty big, and you know the daily candle is currently bullish. But if the daily candle was bearish, and we were going down to break these lows, and it broke those lows, and it wasn't like such a massive candle, I'll probably take them sells right there as it breaks the low, because this shows like it's got a lot of volatility in it. You know, we come down and break these lows, probably not going to go up and break these highs. Stop loss actually isn't too bad. It's 40 pips. I mean, it's pretty large, but I've taken trades like that before with large stop loss. As long as it's in a valid spot, that's really what I'm after. The risk is always going to be the same across the entire stop loss. I'm really not too worried about the size of it. Obviously I would like it to be smaller so that way I can gain more profits, because my lot size is going to be bigger with the smaller the stop loss it is, and I'll get more profits, but that's okay. Keys Cade, sir, good afternoon in my country. Good afternoon, Keys Cade. Abdullah Kadar. Damn, dude, I don't know what that says, man. I apologize, but I only speak English. Igor, only 13 likes, lol. The other 19 people maybe don't like the presentation Mike is doing. Igor, refresh that thing, I got 20 likes. But yeah, and there's 36 people on here live, so maybe the other 16 people don't like me. Marjan. Okay, yeah, okay. Keys Cade. Yeah, that's like Filipino or something that you guys are speaking. Yeah. Oh man, Michigan. Oh no, Michigan State women's basketball, did they lose? Overtime. Oh, what? Oh, what? Dang, they did lose. Let's see. Hi, bro. I have permission to join. Yeah, Alfians, if you're here, you got permission. No problem. No problem. Let's see. Missing anything else? Nope. Just a bunch of stuff that I don't understand here, so. GJ, yeah, we coming down pretty strong now. Looks like we're potentially gonna come down, retest some of these lows created. That would be nice. And let me see. Yeah, okay, just chilling. Yeah, stop loss situation here gonna be pretty big on GJ. At this point, probably want to see the next candle close, or this current candle close. Could potentially see the next candle wick up, break the lows, and continue down. But like I said, either way, my stop loss is going to be above this previous 30-minute candle. And if it comes all the way down and breaks that previous bullish candle's low, stop loss is going to be 40 plus pips. So I might rather wait for something to happen here on gold. Plus gold has been my darling lately. Doesn't mean GJ can't be, but you know. Ooh-wee. Oh. Yep, so just need a little bit of patience here, just a little bit of patience. Got about 3 minutes till this candle closes. Oh yeah, gold's making that little push back up. Yeah, personally I would much rather trade gold. I'd much rather take a trade on gold. Same type of thing though, stop loss is gonna be pretty large over in that side of things too, over in that neck of the woods. So yeah, let's just see what happens. We'll wait for these candles to close, we'll see what happens. Mohammed, man, thank you so much, man. Mohammed Ahmed. Really, Mike, looking at the daily candle and stay away of counter trend makes the trading easy. Appreciate it, mate. I'm not gonna lie, man, I think that was one of my biggest breakthroughs of last year, was identifying that, and that came right at the end of the year, in December, November, something like that. But yeah, I mean, that is like just, my confidence has gone through the roof because I know exactly what I want to see happen, and I know exactly what I don't want to see happen. It's also just a testament of the time we've been spending here, though, and you know, watching how the market's moving, you know, identifying like the best possible trades, things like that. I mean, it's all just repetition. Yeah. Damn, I wish I knew what these dudes were saying. Keys Kade Abdullah, what language do you speak in? Filipino? That's what it looks like to me. I used to have 25 Filipino employees, so I can check it out. Don't understand it though, but I used to see a lot of that communication. And they are the most amazing people. They work so hard. They're so appreciative, so grateful. Oh, Somali language. Okay, my apologies. Yeah, Sartaz doesn't seem to be able to join. He keeps popping in here, but it's not connecting. Yeah, people ask me about Zoom issues and why can't they join, things like that. I'm like, I have no fucking clue, man. Yeah, so this is a little tricky at this point. I mean, I think the impulse entry moving down on GJ probably isn't the best decision with this the support here. Probably rather see a break and close below, and same thing with gold. We already rejected this area once, you know. Yeah, I think I'd probably rather not execute on either of those situations. Ooh, but the gold hourly, look at that, that looks good. 4 hour would be flipping. Gold's trying to talk me into this at the break of the high here. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we will see. This hourly here, that looks pretty good. I like that. And the 4 hour flip. Yeah, I would say it's a potential entry for a cowboy. And it just depends on if I want to saddle up on my horse today or not. I don't know. I don't know. It does have some volume coming in though.
You thinking about buys above the candle to the left?
Yeah, because I like how it's like matching up alongside of the time frames. You know, the hourly doesn't have that 30-minute resistance there, and it's already made a nice bottom wick on the hourly, which also aligns with those 30-minute rejections. Would be the 4 hour candle flip bullish. The daily candle's obviously bullish. So I think a lot of things would be in the favor. It's just one of those situations where it's like, do you want to wait for that extra confirmation that of the candle closing above that range, which we know sometimes it doesn't just close above the range, you know, sometimes it just launches straight to the fucking target, you know, so.
Yeah, I think not to influence you, which I probably wouldn't be able to anyway, but it's a bit like what you said earlier, isn't it? For impulse, it's probably better on gold during the US session because of the volume on the USD pairs.
Yeah.
So it would work better now than it would if I was to take it in London, but you're right, it's just whether you want to wait for more confirmation.
Yeah, it's that situation where you can wait for more confirmation and potentially miss the trade, or you know,
yeah,
it's just like whatever you whatever you want to do, you know. So I mean, I honestly think it looks good. I think it looks pretty solid. I think I'm gonna take it. I have profits to risk.
Yeah. On the, not to bring you down to the 15-minute, because I know you don't use it, but there's a small bearish on the 15-minute with a rejection wick, but it does have a top wick. But
Like a slingshot situation.
Yeah. Are you in it now? Has that triggered your entry?
No, I almost took it, but it didn't break it like enough with the spread. I really like to
Yeah.
see like a really strong break with the spread, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it's gonna do it.
There we go. Oh.
It's like right there, you know, I just want to see a little bit more gap in between that previous candle and that bottom line on the spread, that bottom price.
Where's your stops? Below the 30-minute candle before?
Yeah, I'll put the stop down here below that previous 30-minute.
I assume you're in now.
No, I haven't taken it.
No.
I'm still really all right. Now I'm in. I took it. Just took it right there. That was a nice break. No, that's the thing. You know, it's like, damn. And now, of course, you know, it's given that nice little push. So we'll have to see.
I think if we can break above that wick to the left as well, then it's clear game.
Yep. Yeah.
She looks like it's about to do.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go. Where does it? What are you? Oh, we've got different trading view charts. You're on FX, I'm on Oanda. So it's on my Oanda chart. It's quite a clean break above that wick to the left.
Yeah.
Oh, it's as well.
Yeah, it's definitely it's one of those situations where, you know, where my stop loss is down here, I mean, it's very low probability price gonna come all the way back down there, I think. So yeah, I think it's pretty valid. I think we'll I'm gonna set these levels just so we can visually see it here, and then I'm gonna close my fucking MT5 and we're gonna let this bitch ride and see what happens.
Does yours take auto profit at 10 pips?
Yeah, I because I'm using the magic keys, it'll secure the partials. Get a partial TP set there.
So you just watch it on trading view then rather than MT?
Yeah, I don't like to see the emotions with the numbers, man. I see those numbers fucking fluctuating. I'm just like, you know, it kind of like gets to me, you know. I'm like, oh, you know, what should I do? You know, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, 100% feel you, man. I found that so. I've started to do that recently as well. Just watch trading view instead, because sometimes you can see the numbers and it makes you a bit more emotional.
Yeah. I really just try and trust candle formation. I try and trust the structure, you know, and that my analysis is just going to be correct. And if it's not, then I just got to review and see what I might have missed, you know. Let's see. Hello from Uzbekistan. Wow, welcome. Mohammed, I took gold and the stop loss will be 30-minute candle, 30-minute current candle below. Yeah, I don't like to do current candle stops, honestly, because to me it's kind of strangling the trade. I've had a lot of situations where it could potentially hit that stop loss, that current candle stop loss, and then reject. So I try and stay away from that. But if that's in your plan, don't be influenced by me. It's just something that I've realized when I do current candle stops. Like for me, what's the reasoning of doing a current candle stop? And to me, the only reason of doing it is so my stop loss is smaller and my lot size will be bigger. But I would rather have a smaller stop loss, a smaller lot size and a better stop loss, or a more realistic stop loss, and have less profits, you know, because my lot size is going to be smaller. I'd rather have that. So it's all just personal preference at the end of the day. But yeah, let's see if we're gonna get this nice little push around. I think it's looking pretty good. Like I said, you know, if we look at it across time frames, it tells the story. The hourly is moving pretty nice. The 4 hour flip bullish at this point. We had a very large liquidity grab there. You know, put a bottom wick there. Hour and 20 minutes left in the 4 hour candle, so it's definitely enough time for it to push up. And then obviously, you know, daily candle is pretty strong bullish. We did have, you know, a nice little rejection, but it doesn't mean that that it's gonna flip the opposite way. So like I said, got everything set, and we're just gonna see what happens. We're just gonna see if it's what's gonna play out here. Forex, I took a buy at 19.10.28. Oh, you got a little bit better entry than I did. Like 50 cents better. Forex, you should run the streams. See, GJ breakdown? Nope. Not yet. Yeah, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Like I said, kind of risky because it hasn't closed above that 19.10.36, but I think it's aligned. I think it's aligned. Rejecting a little bit now. Stop loss pretty large though, 35 pips. We shall see, we shall see. This hourly, the hourly looks really, really good to me. Honestly, the hourly based, I mean the entry based on the hourly would have been a little bit better too. Not by too much though. Now we just have to wait and see. Wait and see. Is it gonna reject and go and hit my stop loss and give me my first gold loss of the year? Or is it gonna give me another gold win on the year? We shall see. And to be frank, it's not necessarily well, it's not at all the same criteria of the impulse entry that I took yesterday, with candle breaking the previous candle's low and then making that push up. So if it doesn't play out, I'm gonna really keep this in mind as far as my condition for an impulse entry, and then also really keep this in mind as far as my condition for, you know, a safe entry, you know, having that nice candle closure above. Oh my gosh. Nicholas P, I'm in the trade with you and I'm losing everything. I hope I'm not the black cat. Oh my god. Yeah, Nicholas P, I don't really know what to say about that, to be honest. If you're losing everything, or if you're getting emotional about the drawdown, the potential loss, then there's two things that are happening. Number one, you're either over leveraging, or number two, you're over trading. Me personally, no emotions attached to this trade. If it hits stop loss, I'm going to be completely fine, because I'm going to learn a lesson from that. I'm going to learn a lesson that this is the only condition for an impulse entry that I want to see. And I'm also going to learn a lesson that I really need to trust, you know, what I want to see, buys above with the closure. But if it plays out, then I'm going to have more confidence to take this entry again in the future. So regardless, there's a lesson to learn. So Nicholas P, don't get offended, but don't fucking come at me with your losses, because you executed. Four's on. 15 minutes will give us the push, hopefully. Bow down to you, 15-minute candle. Nico, give you another day, don't lose your account. For his on 100%, that's the best advice. You know, one trade per day, 1% risk. One trade per day, 1% risk. If you can do that, there's always going to be a lesson to learn. There's always going to be growth, and you're always going to have yourself in a position to show up the next day. Blaz, I'm on the trade but close half, managing risk. Not a bad idea either. You know, as Raja always says, you know, anytime you get uncomfortable with the position, or uncomfortable with being in drawdown, or uncomfortable with how the trade is going, you know, the best thing that you can do is close 50%. For me though, like I always say, I just try and keep my emotions out of everything, and you know, I let it ride. Yes, where's your stop loss? If you have two eyes, then you can see my stop loss. It's 1907.22. It's like 35 pips. And now it's rejecting pretty nicely. So this is where, you know, if you're in this trade, you might want to start managing risk. Me personally, I'm going to let it rock. And my shit's closed. You know, I'm going to let it rock. If it plays out, it plays out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Marjan, where will you put the TP? So I'm going to target, you know, 1914.72, but I have a partial TP at 10 pips or so, which I got pretty close to that, and it rejected, so it's all good. You can't be bulletproof. Can't be bulletproof in the markets. Yes, why is your risk to reward ratio 1-to-1? It's not. My risk to reward ratio is probably negative. Yeah, it's oh yeah, it's 1.13 based on this, but I mean, usually I secure everything about 10-11 pips or so, so it's like a 0.3 risk to reward. Well, this will be the overall target, 1914 and some change up here. Also, this is another thing to consider, is our stop loss is below the current hourly candle. So as long as that low is respected, you know, by the time this hourly candle closes, then we can see pretty much like what happened yesterday. And my impulse entry here on GJ is, you know, we had like a nice push up. It didn't give me 10 pips though, but it obviously respected the current candle low, and then it ended up giving it with a later candle. So that's, you know, kind of the same thing that we can anticipate here, is as long as the hourly can respect its own candle low before it closes here, then we can anticipate the next hourly candle to respect the low and then continue bullish and give us that push, so we can secure some profits And that's going to make me not care what this 30-minute candle looks like when it closes. If it closes bearish, whatever. If it closes below this level, whatever. Because then we can put our trust in that hourly candle respecting itself. But currently, you know, we're putting our trust in this 30-minute level, which it's showing us that we probably should have waited for this candle to close above this zone, which is what I was talking about, because we had already rejected it. But it's just one of those things where you got to execute on something. You can't put yourself in analysis paralysis to where you never execute. It's good to be cautious, but at the same time, you know, I'm on a nice winning streak right now. Profits have been nice for the year, so I have room to be a little bit more risky for the opportunity to learn something, you know, for the opportunity to learn a lesson, or learn what I shouldn't have done or what I should have done, etc., etc. So if it like I said, you know, if it ends up taking us out, I'm completely fine with it, because I'm within my trading plan. One trade, 1% risk. So if you're not, then that's that's a different situation. TGW, today every pair is consolidating. Yeah, I mean, we had some nice moves. Oh, Maurice, we got some feedback from you. I'm just gonna mute you, and if you want to ask a question or say something, feel free to unmute yourself. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any consolidation on either of these pairs. I mean, you know, of course, gold is kind of ranging here, but they've both had nice moves, you know. So, but yeah, it does look like GJ is probably gonna come down, break these lows, and come into this range. That's another thing too. Is you know, you can't be ignorant to just, like, you know, just focusing on one pair. You know, I think one pair is like definitely key, you know, as far as learning how something moves. But this is another thing too that I often look at in my trading plan, is like, when situations like this happen where a trade doesn't work out and we take a loss, a lot of times this is what I see is, like, you know, there could have been a potential opportunity on another pair. You know, I just needed to wait for that confirmation. You know, I needed to wait for what I wanted to see. So that's kind of the thing, you know. It's one of those situations where you know, you gotta execute to learn those lessons. Like, that's when things stick, you know. That's when you really learn.
If this flips and goes in your way, it's gonna feel so good.
I mean, it's happened a lot of times, man. I mean, I've had it happen a lot of times where even candles like break like 30-minute lows and stuff, and I just like, I'm whatever, you know. It still hasn't hit my stop loss, then it goes to profit. I mean, you guys have seen it, you know. So
Yeah.
that's why I just really put my trust in the levels, you know.
I was there a couple of weeks ago. I think maybe not even that long ago. You took a trade, and I was in the same trade, but I put the stops below the current 30-minute, and then you held and it went in profit, and I got stopped out.
Yeah.
So definitely works. So you never know.
Yeah, and that's I mean, that's honestly where it comes from, is just, you know, it's just confidence in executing. You know, just being burned too many times from doing that myself. So I was like, all right, no more. And I got to pull my emotions out of it. Sure, it's really good. You know, it's really good to manage your risk as much as possible. You know, that's always going to put you in a position to where your losses are less than your winners. And that's kind of like where I'm different than a lot of traders. It's like if I take a loss, it's going to wipe out a couple of days of profits 100%, because of where I'm securing at, stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, we just aim to be on the winning side more than we're on the losing side, you know. So
Definitely, bro. And like I said, if you only risking 1%, you're prepared to lose 1%, then it's not. You can obviously manage risk, but it's not the end of the world if it hits your stop loss. It's literally 1%.
Yeah, exactly. And what I've understood from like Raja too, you know, the reason that he really focuses on managing risk is because even though he's planning on losing 1 to 2% or whatever it is that he risks for the day, you know, he wants to exit a trade early so that way he could potentially get a better setup later on that he can execute on with the rest of his risk for the day, you know, his allotted risk for the day. Whereas me, I don't like to take more than one trade, you know, because then I start to like put myself into a position where I'm compounding losses, and I don't like that. Even if I lose less than I anticipate and I still have risk available, I just for some reason I don't like to do that. Just one trade is good for me. Oh, Sartaz, yeah, I don't know either, man. I saw you coming in and out like a bunch of times, but looks like you couldn't join, so part of the gulag today. It's okay. It's okay. Daniel Harding, good morning, good morning. Welcome. So we got about 1 minute until this candle's gonna close. It does look like it's gonna respect that previous 30-minute candle low, which, like I was saying, you know, it is the current hourly candle low. So that's gonna give us, even if the 30-minute candle closes bearish, that's gonna give us an hourly bullish candle, weak bullish candle with a pretty strong rejection at a past rejection zone. So it could get a little dangerous. But you know, it's just part of it. You know, we'll just have to see if it's gonna play out or not. Like I said, there's always a lesson to learn in any situation here. And the lesson is looking like we will have to learn something, but it's okay. It's okay if that's the case. GJ doesn't really know what it's gonna do yet. Yeah, now the hourly is going to close like very weak bullish and potentially even bearish. A pip in gold, I think is, yeah, so now like the buys look really bad. I'm not gonna lie. It definitely looks like it's probably gonna break the low, hit the stop loss. But I'm just gonna trust it. I'm just gonna see what happens. If it hits it, it hits it, no problem. We will know what not to do in the future. And it's like pretty much what I was anticipating I didn't want to do. But at the same time, there's no bottom wick here, so I mean it definitely could push up. But it's just ranging at this point. Wasn't the best idea regardless, simply because of that range, honestly. But I was more so just like confident in that hourly structure, how it was respecting the previous hourly candle's low and breaking the high. It looked really good to push up here and potentially retest that. But gotta get those confirmations on lower time frames, so it's okay. Nobody's invisible, but we'll see. Still hasn't hit it yet. My bad, Frozen. I can't remember if I answered that. A pip in gold is, so like a dollar move is 10 pips. So 1910 to 1911, that's 10 pips. So you know, 1910.1 to 1910.2 is a pip. So it's not, so, oh yeah, so you're right, it's the 0.1. The 0.1 is the pip, not the 0.01. Oh, I think it hit it there. Yeah, it definitely hit it, I'm pretty sure.
On the flip side, Mike, if you hadn't taken a trade, would you consider sales if it broke as it is now? Because it's almost breaking below that, maybe below these last wicks, but there is some range to move down. 4 hours bearish, daily still bullish, so it's trading against the daily candle, which you don't like. But any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it simply because of the counter trend move, to be honest. Yeah, I would only consider sells down here because of the daily candle flipping and being strong at that point.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I mean, it really just comes down to exactly what I said when this candle rejected. You know, should have just waited for it to close above this zone. That would have given us the better confirmation that it's going to continue. But it was one of those things where you know, I was in that kind of like FOMO, like, oh shit, you know, like I don't want it to break these highs and push without me taking the entry, you know. So let me see if this is going to be a good confirmation, which I mean, I don't think it was a bad trade at all, to be honest. I just think the stronger confirmation would have been the closure rather than the impulse entry.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think you're right. Impulse there, it's just probabilities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as my trade yesterday. You know, I mean, this could have done the exact same thing. You know, the probability was just on my side here, and yeah, I mean, that's simply what it is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it still might, you know, if we reject where it is now closed bullish, then we've still rejecting it at that support, and it might then continue up.
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
So bias might still be right, but if anything, that's more frustrating when it happens in some ways, because it's like, but it's good to know that your analysis was correct long term.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, a lot of time that does happen too. You know, the analysis will be correct, but it's like the entry wasn't at the right point at the right time, whatever the case was, you know. So,
am I the only one that when a trade goes against you, you want the trend to be wrong in a way?
yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to be like, no. Whereas when it's almost more annoying when it plays out, but after you've maybe been stopped out or something, you almost want it to continue. Right now, you just want it to just tank. You know?
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, yeah, no, I was completely wrong. But
Yeah.
if it was right, you can't. It's actually better if it was then moved in your direction, because it means actually just the execution was off. But
Yeah.
for some reason, process in your head thinks, actually, I just want it to be really wrong, you know? It's just like, it's mad.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I definitely feel that way. Like I'm like, I like both ways, you know, like if it hits my stop loss and you know, then it goes bullish, you know, or whatever, you know, like if this candle like forms a level of support and continues bullish, you know, I'll be like, whatever, you know, my analysis was correct. I just didn't enter at the right time. But at the same time, you know, I don't know, when it goes against me like completely, then I don't know. I feel like I would rather it play out and I just entered at the wrong time versus it going against me. But
yeah. This is basically literally what happened to me on gold this morning, where I just missed that move up there. I was just a bit too early. But
yeah, it's all good. I mean, it just I mean, what this really confirms to me is this is the only criteria I want to see for an impulse entry. You know, break the lows and the highs. That shows like it's volatility. You know, there's volatility in the markets. We're gonna get a nice push, and it's not gonna be as slow as this was. You know, I mean, we were in this trade for a while, and on gold it's usually not like that. Like even this trade, it didn't hit 10 pips before this candle closed, but I remember I took this trade like right at the end of the candle. It was like literally in the last 10 minutes of the candle, and then the next one it made this nice little push up, and then just breaking that high is what gave me the 10 pips before it rejected back down to the entry or whatever, and did like a little retest situation there. So yeah, I mean so there's two things this trade really confirms for me. The lesson learned is this is the impulse condition. I want to see lows and highs broken for the bullish impulse entry, and then highs then lows broken for the bearish impulse entry. And then the other thing that it really confirms is that if we're in a range and that doesn't happen, then we need the closure. If we don't get the closure, then it's telling us that like probability is just not really there on our side at that time to take that entry. Or like the volume's not on our side to push it out of the range, you know what I mean? Whereas like when we break those lows, then go break the highs like we did here, this was like my confirmation or my assumption that, okay, cool, you know, we have enough volume in the market to break out of this range. Enough volatility. But yeah, it's all good. I mean, it just shows me I'm not bulletproof. I needed to be humbled on the year so far. I mean, I've taken 11 trades, or before this trade, it was 11 trades and 1 loss. I mean, that's like pretty insane. I've never had a run like that. So now I'm at 12 trades and 2 losses. I mean, I really can't be mad at that at all. And my 2 losses gave me really good lessons, because the other loss that I took, it was actually a similar situation. I think it was actually the same thing. It was an impulse move on GJ, I think. I have to look back at my journal. But it was a while ago too. I think it was last Monday. It was last Monday. Let me try and find it and we'll see. Yeah, and just to frame a reference, that loss took out yesterday's profits and the profits from the day before. So still well in profit for the year so far, for the month so far. I'm up about 4 or 5%. I can't do the math in my head. So not too bad. Let me try and find this. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Now look at GJ here. It's probably gonna start breaking down and moving bearish. Kevin, hey Mike, I know you already took your trade for the day, but if that current bearish candle closes below that range, is it valid for sales below its low, or are you only interested in trading with the daily trend? Yeah, I'm only interested in trading with the daily trend. So if price comes down below 1901.75, then I would consider sales. And I know for a lot of people that seems super retarded, and you know, it's like, why would I wait for a price to come all the way down here, you know, and then look for sells? But for me, that's going to give me the confirmation in the direction. But I mean, if you look at this, you know, this is a pattern that a lot of people trade. You know, we essentially have a head and shoulders pattern here. It's like playing out, so could be valid. Not something I really like base my trades on though. So Abdullah, look at GJ. Yeah, I think it's gonna drop, but I mean, same type of thing. I mean, we just paid the price for trading in a range, or buying into a resistance. So I wouldn't sell into a support right here. You want to wait for that closure, or get wrecked like I just did. But let me find this GJ trade. Another thing I'm kind of noticing too is, like, because I now have like a hard stop, I have that meeting that I gotta be on, like, at least for the time being at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So I'm starting to notice that I think I'm like trying to force an early trade, whereas like I'd rather like just not trade at all if I'm gonna force an early trade. Yeah, so looking at this GJ trade, let me try and find it on TradingView. January 9th, 1330, so that would be 13 minus 5, so that's 830. January 9th, 830. January 9th, 830. Ah, yes. Yes, I do remember. So this was a trade I took here. This is my other loss for the year. Arsalan, bro, stop blaming yourself. It happens, just relax. I am relaxed, fam. I'm just trying to learn the lesson here. It's okay to learn the lesson, bro. And that's exactly what I was doing, is I was learning the lesson. I'm very relaxed. I'm fucking 10-2 on the year, you know, I'm feeling very good. I knew this loss was coming. I mean, nobody's fucking bulletproof. But I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the support. But this was my GJ trade, so this was the other loss on the year. I took a buy right here, and so I remember in my video that I recorded for my journal, I told myself, you know, like, hey, when this happens, you know, like, you gotta be cautious about like this most recent level. Like, this candle did move down. What the hell's going on? This candle did move down clean, but it doesn't necessarily mean the candle's gonna move back through that area clean, because we had this rejection here. So I was more so just saying, like, same type of thing, you know, don't buy into a support or a resistance. And the reason that I was saying that in regards to this trade is because I actually had this marked up as a level when I was like taking the trade. So I had this marked up as a level simply because, number one, like, this was the optimal trade for that day. Was we had this move up, we had a high created, we came down, created a support. The best trade would have been at the break of the high here to go retest this level, but I wasn't on the mark, I wasn't at the charts during that time, you know. So that's kind of why I you know, told myself, like, okay, the bad thing, where I screwed up on this trade was because I didn't wait for a candle to close back above this 160.643 level. And as we can see, when that did happen, it moved bullish. You know, it gave that push. So that's why I was like telling myself the better trade that I should have waited to happen here was more so a candle to close back above that level, just like it did right here, and then push bullish. So that was my situation there on that GJ loss that I took. So not quite the same as this gold loss, but similar lesson. Oh yeah, GJ looks pretty solid now. See, and this is the other thing I was talking about, you know, like, you know, that's why I trade gold and GJ, because it gives you opportunity to focus on the pair that's moving. GJ's, I mean, gold's not really moving at this point. We've been ranging for a little while now. GJ is. But still, I probably wouldn't have taken the impulse there on the break of the lows. I probably would have waited for price to close below. On the hourly, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. Taking that impulse entry is probably gonna ruin impulse entries for a little bit for me. Taking that loss on it.
Does the same for me, man, as well. It's like it takes me like a couple of weeks to forget that I don't like that. I'm like, oh yeah, and I take one. You maybe, and then, or the minute you get one good again, it's like just reestablishes that faith in impulse entries, where it takes me a couple of weeks to forget that I don't like.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just like the condition for the impulse. You know, I think that volatility is needed. That, like what I've been talking about, the highs and lows being broken. It's all good though. It's all good. I see some people talking about news. What's today? Thursday? Yeah, this is nothing. I mean, there is some shit here, but it's just not gonna do anything too crazy, I don't think. Maynard, hi Mike, do you also look on fundamentals? Not really, I don't really trade fundamentals. It's not really my thing. Yay, Stam next time, bro. Yep, just learn the lesson, keep it moving. Arsalan, but last week your trades were awesome. Yes, last week they were, but I also did take that GJ loss last week, so same thing. I mean, if I can move through each week with just one loss, I'm completely fine with that. Now it's gonna push bullish. Go hit the target. I'm a full margin my account.
That would be very crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's exactly what gold will like to do with you. And that's also why I really like I preach like one trade per day, because when shit like that happens, you know, you'll be like, oh, see, I knew I was right, buy again, you know, and you'll be like, I can make my losses back, you know, at least I'll have a break-even day. But then, you know, it'll stop you out again, and then you compounded your losses, and it's even worse, so. Nico, you alive? Nico. I don't know who Nico is. But yeah, I was in that trade for almost 30 minutes. So that's another thing, you know, that kind of goes into that playbook of you know, what do I not want to see in candles? Oh yeah, here's Nico. That guy. Nico. Damn, you got balls the size of China, Nico, to be holding that. Where's your stop loss at? You don't got one? The margin call is your stop loss? Jeanette, gold is ranging. 100% gold is ranging. 100% gold is ranging. Yeah, I'm happy that this happened. I'm happy that it played out the way it did. You know, it gave us a nice lesson that we can learn from, that makes sense.
So, Mike,
Yes, sir.
the best time to take it while it's ranging is if it closes above that support, rather than just taking it based on a breakout, right? When it is ranging.
Yeah, so here, let me try and annotate this real quick just to provide a little visual for it. So the candle that we executed on, this red one, what we should have waited for, I'm just gonna cover up like these other ones here. What we should have waited for is like something like this to happen. Candle to close above it, above the range, and then we can anticipate and like ignore this blue wick here of that candle that's currently printing. So we would have wanted to see candle close above the range, and then we would trade when the next candle moves down to retest the low. It respects the low. Okay, perfect. We come up, break the high, and then that's when we would have entered, and then it would look like something like that. So that's like, because it was ranging, that's what we should have waited for, was this to happen. Because like I said, we got the candle closing above the range. That's showing like, hey, That's something that the previous candles in this area were not able to do. Notice how they all they came up into it, but they rejected it. And then this one was able to close inside of it. So that gives us a strong confirmation that we can ride up on that one and target all of this clean range over here. Now, the other thing is, so that's like what we should have waited for while it was ranging with the way that we executed. Now what would have gave us the better confirmation for the impulse execution would have been kind of like what it's doing now. Like if this candle goes up and breaks the high, because then we got the lows broken and the high broken, and we can anticipate that it's going to be a very low probability for price to come all the way down and break this zone low. But the challenge is with that is that's a pretty large candle. Stop loss can be like 48, 49 pips, you know, because it had to be down here below this this candle here, that current candle. But that would, so that's the thing, is like when price is ranging. So here's my theory. Here's my theory based on when price is ranging. When price is ranging, an impulse entry is validated in a bullish move, a bullish trend, a current, like with the trend move, if the lows and highs are broken. If the lows are broken first and then we go break the highs, that's when an impulse entry is valid. If that doesn't happen, then you need to wait for candle to close outside of the range. Above the range, then you can look for buys. So that's like my conclusion based around when price is ranging. And obviously we'll have to keep that in mind, and we'll have to test it. You know, we'll have to test it as we continue to see situations like this. You know, if we see this happen again in the future, then we'll have to remember, okay, cool, my criteria for a bullish or for a buy entry and a bullish trend when it's ranging is when we have that volatile candle that's going to break the lows and the highs, because that shows that we have enough volume to push ourselves outside of that range. And then on the flip side, we get that closure above the resistance in a bullish trend, then that gives us strong confirmation that candles have been able to do what past candles haven't been able to do. And so now, you know, we can confirm an entry to move bullish. So that's kind of what we're gonna have to watch like in the future when we see price ranging.
Okay, thank you.
Yes sir, yes sir. Nicholas, he has stop loss below 1906, so he's trading a little bit different strategy than me, but good work there, Nico. Stop loss was not hit. Hopefully your emotions were not in a wreck, because it's playing out for you. It's playing out, so well done. News in 7 minutes. Yep, in about 2 minutes now, Dan. We need to wait for this 30-minute candle's closure. I'm still in, but if it closes bearish, I'll close my position. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna close bearish. I think it's gonna break that high, and it's gonna confirm my theory based on an impulse move, and it's gonna yield 10 pips now. Notice how there's a lot more volume. It's pushing a lot harder. And like that's what happens when lows and highs are broken. It's a volatile candle. There's volume in the markets. And when you're executing with the trend inside of that volatile candle, you have a high probability to at least yield that 10 pip profit. So we'll see if the theory is going to be right here. It did move like, so if the entry was based off of the break of the high, you know, if this that previous bearish 30-minute candle, if like say for example we didn't take the entry that I took, and we took the entry right as that 30-minute high was broken on this bearish candle right there, 10 pips would be like 1912.41. So we'll see if it hits that. If it does, I'm gonna be really happy. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to happen inside of this candle, because I know this candle's closing in like 9 seconds. So if it doesn't happen before this candle closes, that's fine, because the stop loss would have been down here below the 30-minute candle, and it's probably going to make that push on this next candle. Oh damn, but the news is causing a little volatility. Oh man, the markets are so funny, man. Now I'm gonna start seeing a bunch of people in Raj's chat like, I fucking hate gold. Oh, man. Forzan BE, I moved SL before news. Yeah, hopefully that thing doesn't get slipped. Nico should have closed. Yeah, who knows, man. I mean, you got your stop loss in a pretty valid place, to be honest. I mean, if it's below 1906, you know, if it hits your stop loss, it's gonna invalidate your trade idea. That's what I look for. Is like, I need my stop loss to be in a situation, in a position where it's gonna invalidate my trade idea. So I think with how you have yours set, I think you're in a good position to invalidate that trade idea if it's hit. So if I was you and I had my risk, you know, proper, I wasn't over leveraging, I wasn't over trading, things like that, I would let that bitch ride. Probably wouldn't even pay attention to it, and I would just see what happens. I would come in and see if there was a lesson to be learned later on in the day. But yeah, I mean, if depending on where your entry was, if your stop loss was way down here, I'm assuming your entry was probably better than mine. I would probably start securing profits. You know, I would start securing profits when your positions go into profit. The worst thing that I experienced during like my trading growth, my career so far with trading, is like the feeling when you see the profits. You know, when you see like, okay, cool, I'm in profits. I'll never forget, I've had times where I opened up my freaking MetaTrader, I was $1,000 plus in profit, and I'll be like, alright, cool, but it hasn't hit my take profit yet, so I'm just gonna let it rock. And then I would wake up and fucking hit stop loss, and I lost like 500 bucks. You know, I'm like, fuck. You know, so like that's why I'm always in that mentality, is like, you always got to secure something, you always got to be playing with the house money. even if you're just securing 20% and you're putting stops at break even, at least you're removing the potential opportunity to take a loss. You know, like the markets gave you a position to secure profits and play with house money and have an unlimited risk to reward on your runner, and you know, you didn't execute properly. So like those are kind of the things that I think about. Man, this thing's really playing with people, man. I think at this point it's gonna respect that low though. It's gonna respect that previous low. Nico, if you still in this thing, I think you're good. We go break that high just like it's about to. I think we should probably make a strong push up there to 1914.53 or so. But like I said, man, you got balls the size of China for holding that thing, especially if you got multiple positions open. Sheesh. Yep, that would have been the 10 pips right there, Jake. So that confirms the impulse entry situation. Even through news, it made sense. That's good. I like that. I like that. I like that. So that's good to know. That's good to know. Yep, Igor. That's the conditions for the impulse entry. I wouldn't take buys here on GJ though. Not until it comes up above 159.098. Need that daily candle flip bullish in my opinion. But that's good, that's good. Good. Cool. Well, I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna get rocking and rolling on the day here. And with that said, I mean, this to me, this just really proves the conditions and the criteria based around the impulse move, even with the news event coming through here. So like, let me just show you like what my theory is now in regards to impulse moves is, you know, if we would have executed something like this here, you know, we would have had the stops below the current candle low. And here, let me I'll remove this just for the sake of explaining. And so what we would have done here is, you know, we would have taken an impulse entry here, target up here, you know, we have the nice clean traffic coming through this zone, and the stops would have been below the current candle. And as you can see, even with that news brought it all the way down. It still respected the low, came up, broke the high. I think 10 pips was just like right around this level somewhere. So that would have yielded 10 pips for sure. We would have been able to secure. So I'm gonna stick with that theory. You guys help me remember that theory as well, and we're gonna watch for that in the future. Also, don't let me take another dumbass trade like that again inside of the range. And
I got a question, Mike.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
for impulse entries, is it like the break of the zone or is it break of the high of the previous candle? I'm not still clear on impulse entries.
Okay, yeah, I think yeah, so let me see. Oops. Yeah, let me go back. Here we go. So where I would have taken it was the break of this previous bearish candle's high.
Oh,
Let me grab my thing. Yeah, so I would have taken it as price broke this high, which I think would have probably been right around this 1911.52 price based on the spread and stuff like that, you know. So so yeah, that's what I would have that's where I would have executed, and that's what I did yesterday. I think it was on the impulse entry over here. I think it was this candle right here actually. It broke the low, and then once it went up and broke that high right there, that's when I executed, and then I had my stops below right there, and obviously as you can see, it never hit it. So yeah, I think like that's like ultimately my conclusion in regards to that is that just really shows that there's volume in the market, you know, and when there's volume in the market, we know we can probably at least, or we have a higher probability to at least get 10 pips out of the market.
Okay. So for the impulse entries, you still just do the 10 pips. You don't necessarily like go out when it closes or when the candle closes.
Yeah, no,
like close it.
I'm pretty like locked in on the 10 pips. Don't really want to take anything more, and don't want to strangle the trade to close in a loss or close anything less, you know.
Okay. I very seldom win on an impulse entry.
Yeah.
So I gotta figure out what that deal is, or just stay away from them.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing too. I mean for a long time I would just stay away from it, but it's like this situation, like I executed on this yesterday, like that's just something that I've seen a couple of times now where I've noticed like, okay, you know, if we break the lows and highs, it shows a lot of volume in the market, so in a bullish trend that makes a lot of sense. And then on the flip side, you know, vice versa, for a bearish trend, if we break the highs then come down and break the lows, you know, what it really comes down to is it's just a really low probability for when that happens for it to come back down to its low. So like when
and reverse completely, like gold has been doing today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's kind of like my theory around it, is it's just a very low probability for it to retrace all the way back down and hit that stop loss. So, and as you can see, I mean, it's the same thing that happened here on this potential impulse entry. It never came down and hit that. We would have been able to secure the 10 pips off of that push to the high, and that was even through some volatility through the news, you know?
Yeah. So basically it was a good trade, we just got in too early.
Exactly. It wasn't the right criteria to take an impulse entry, and that's why I'm like really satisfied with this, because it really just like solidified that if I'm gonna take an impulse entry, because before I would never take impulse entries. I mean, you guys know I'd wait for the candle to close. Sometimes it would just freaking move straight through the zone and I would miss it. And so that's what I'm trying to like avoid, is like, all right, cool, you know, what can I start to develop around the criteria for it to make sense for me to actually take that impulse entry. And so I think that's what I'm coming to the conclusion of, is I want to make sure, because I mean what it really comes down to is you just need enough volume to break out of that range. That's all it comes down to. And there's two types of confirmations. It's like a candle closure outside of the range, perfect, you know, we have confirmation that we're breaking out of that range, or high volume. And so what I notice with Raja is a lot of times he will take impulse entries as like the highs are broken. So like for example, I've seen Raja take a lot of trades where, like, you know, for example on this candle here, which I think that's the one that we actually executed on, because it took out all the highs, you know. So I've seen him like take impulse entries based on that, but then the same thing will happen. It will reject and come back into the range. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out, is like, how can I avoid that happening, you know? So I think that's where my conclusion is you know, we can, because like basically what I'm saying is I don't like to take impulse entries like Raja does, because it's always with an anticipation of we might have enough volume, you know, to break out.
Yeah.
And like that's the problem, is you don't know if that volume is going to be at 8 a.m. You don't know if it's going to be at COMEX open at 8:20. You don't know if it's going to be NYSE at 9:30. You don't know if it's going to be London close at 10. You know, so you don't really know when that volume is going to come in. But I think I've now like solidified that we can assume the volume is going to come in if we have this criteria, which is, you know, now twice we've seen this in the most recent history.
Right.
I don't know that I honestly would have taken the impulse entry with this candle, just because of how large the stop loss is, like 50 pips or something.
Yeah.
But it's the overall theory, you know what I mean?
All right. Well, we'll keep practicing.
We'll we'll look for that in the future and see what comes out of it. But I think it's a pretty good theory. But nonetheless, it's all just repetition. You know, the more we see it, the more we'll be confident with it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. We just, for me especially, because I'm still not like, it's going to take some time for me to really figure out a criteria for impulse entries to like be comfortable with them. Because they always take me out.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You know, when you get burned, you know, it's painful. You know, it sucks. But
now the good thing though is I've learned, like, I'm not emotionally attached, which I was really proud of myself today, because I took a couple of losses. I posted them in the thing, but I'm not like distraught. I'm like, okay. I took the risk. That's what I thought I might lose. That's what I lost, and I'm cool with it. So
yeah, that's
a huge step for me.
So one thing I heard that Raja say about impulse entries is, you probably heard this say this as well, Mike, is when he says you almost have, it's like a feeling as well, I suppose, which comes from obviously experience in the markets, but sometimes you just get a feeling that it's just gonna go. And
it's an intuition.
And you just like, you know, you have to like, it's like as you're like fluid in the market, you just sort of think, actually, this is gonna go. But it probably just comes from experience.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and seeing it over and over.
Yeah, and one of those things is simply how long it took. You know, if you notice, like, usually when Raja takes those impulse entries and they work out, it will take out all the highs, he will enter, and then it will just go straight to profit within a couple of minutes, and he's out of it, you know. And so that's like another thing, like, Jake, if you want to consider like that feeling. Like, that feeling could be, okay, cool, if this thing doesn't just freaking straight up, you know, rocket launch out of here, there's not enough volume to push us out of the range, and I better exit before it comes all the way down. But for me, you know, the feelings, the emotions, things like that, you know, to me, I would rather keep that out of my trading plan, you know. So I think I like the theory around the breaking the lows and going to break the highs, and then vice versa on a bearish movement. But
yeah, that's more of a solid move too. But I do understand that emotion part, because I was like, man, this trade is taking a long time. Why is it taking so long? It doesn't normally take this long. That's usually a bad sign. Exactly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And so I've had it go both ways. You know, I've just trusted the candle structure, and, you know, it's eventually played out before. And then I've had situations like today where it takes a long time, and it takes a long time for a reason, because it's going to go down and hit my damn stop loss, you know. but Forzand in the YouTube chat, he made a great comment. Intuition is not a part of probabilities, and that's exactly how I feel about it. It's like when you have emotions involved, it ruins like your probability mindset. And to me, trading is all just a thing of probabilities, you know. So
yeah, my granddaughter calls it a guessing game. So it's just a guessing game, huh? It's pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. We're educated gamblers, you know.
Exactly.
But all right, guys, we're gonna shut it down.
You gotta go, so I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah, no, thank you. But yeah, nonetheless, I think we learned a good lesson today. I'm just like you said, Christine. I'm not mad about it at all. I actually feel really good. I'm happy that it worked out this way, because it really solidifies what I was like anticipating about an impulse trade. And like when you take that loss, you know, that feeling like you don't want to do that again. So I'm gonna remember this one. You know, I'm gonna be like, when we see this happen again, I'm gonna be like, nope, Nope, it hasn't, it hasn't broken the highs and the lows yet, so I'm not gonna take it, and it hasn't closed
Yeah.
outside the range yet, so I'm not gonna take it. So we're not gonna forget that one.
Yeah, we're waiting for closure. Whenever possible.
All right,
Yeah,
guys, have an
yeah,
amazing day. Have an amazing Thursday. We're
All
on
right,
Friday Eve. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll do it again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys tomorrow.
Bye, everyone. Bye, YouTube chat. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks for the engagement. Thanks for the questions, everybody. It's always a good time. Bye-bye. Adios. Ciao. Hasta luego. Peace.